from the Caesars Palace Sports Pavilion in Las Vegas, Nevada. Holyfield or Dokes, a date with destiny. Tonight, it's the Continental America's Heavyweight Championship with fast-rising heavyweight Evander Holyfield against former WBA heavyweight champ Michael Dokes. And we welcome you to Showtime Championship Boxing. As we focus in on faces in the crowd, they've all come to see Evander Holyfield and Michael Dokes. They could also be seeing a future challenger for the heavyweight throne. The faces include the legendary George Burns and Cheryl. And take my fight doctor, please. Hello again, everybody. Steve Albert, along with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. Welcome to another edition of Showtime Championship Boxing, getting ready for the big one, Holyfield versus Dokes. We should also point out here at the top, the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship featuring Meldrick Taylor and Jung Packing of the Philippines had to be canceled because of a knee injury sustained by Taylor during training sessions earlier in the week. But to the main event, Holyfield versus Dokes, two fighters who have but one defeat between them, Ferdy.
Yeah, this fight was ridiculously priced at 9-1 when it started in the favor of Holyfield. But then the experts got to looking at Dokes. He's well-conditioned, determined to prove that he can come back from a terrible fall in drugs and alcohol abuse. On Evander Holyfield's part, I think this represents his biggest test. Is he really a heavyweight? The last two heavyweights he fought proved very easy and not a contest at all. Tonight, I think we're in for a desperate battle.
Should the winner emerge as the logical choice to meet Mike Tyson?
The logical and the only choice to be considered #1 in Tyson's path.
Michael Dokes says he doesn't want to leave this fight in the hands of the judges. He's looking for the early knockout, which could spell a very explosive affair. He's had a career that's read almost like a Hollywood script. Right now, let's explore the career of Michael Dokes with Ferdy.
And on the 26th of July, 1975, the boxing world took notice of 17-year-old Michael Dokes when he won the North American Boxing Championships.
Years I'm into, I plan on being the world's heavyweight champion. So I'm starting out young.
And 7 years later, Dokes did become the heavyweight champion of the world with a stunning first-round TKO of Mike Weaver. The following year, a different Dokes lost his title to Jerry Coetzee in a 10th round knockout. Discouraged, Michael Dokes slid into a self-destructive life of drugs and alcohol, which ended when his old friend Marty Cohen appeared to guide him back to boxing and sanity.
And I know I've come to understand and love him immensely behind the teachings and everything that he has expressed to me. And I'm sure that in the years that we've been together, he's come to respect me and understand me and look at me in a different light also. I think we've both seen each other grow in a sense and in different ways.
Marty Cohen, it's a gift to come this late in your life to have someone like Michael Dokes to manage. How did that relationship happen?
Well, I saw Mike in the amateurs about 17, 18 years ago. He boxed in our area in Miami. He boxed at the Gloves at the Orange Bowl. And Michael came to me one day. It was at the home of DK. You recall that, Mike? And we sat down, we were talking. And I could see something. He was reaching out. He was looking for someone that he could talk to. And so as time went by, it wasn't only the boxing, but it was for the love of a kid that I well up every time you ask me these things. Because there is a bond of love between us. The money, forget about it. Even if he had no money, I got money. And he's sharing that money. He's in my will. He didn't know it. I just told him, you know.
That's the truth.
No, he didn't know.
I never
So it's not a question of money. And when he got down to the depths of hell, the bowels, the worst, the bottom of the ocean, I cried. I was sad. And the day that he called me from the rehab, that he wants to come back, the world opened up again for me. And I said, Michael, you're going to make it.
If Dokes is going to make it back through the threshold to recognition and fortune, he will have to beat the formidable opponent, Evander Holyfield.
So, from an emotional Marty Cohn and Michael Dokes, a dramatic effect as the spotlight falls on the challenger, Evander Holyfield. A rare scene, as you will see in a moment, as Holyfield will make his way to the ring before his opponent. And here he comes with his entourage. Familiar face of trainer Lou Duva. George Benton there, Ronnie Shields, and cutman Ace Barada. Holyfield returning to the same ring where he won 2 of his 3 cruiserweight titles and the box-off, which earned him a spot on the U.S. Olympic team in '84. A trimmed down Evander Holyfield, 208, was 210 his last fight, looking to outspeed, outquick the 225-pound Michael Dokes. Holyfield is the favorite, but nobody is taking Michael Dokes lightly. Holyfield 20-0, 16 KOs, rated number 2 by the WBA out of Atlanta, Georgia. And he gets the salute from the big crowd here at Caesars Palace. The former world cruiserweight champion who relinquished his title to set his sights on the heavyweight crowd. Capacity crowd over 4,000 here at the Caesars Palace Sports Pavilion, the home of champions and the scene of so many historic championship fights here on the Las Vegas Strip. And as you might expect, the champion Michael Dokes will make Mr. Holyfield wait. Evander is not used to this. Evander Holyfield off the victory over former WBC heavyweight champion Pinklin Thomas, as that fight was stopped at the end of the 7th round. In his previous fight, his heavyweight debut in Tahoe, he stopped James Quick Tillis in the 5th round. So we are awaiting the WBC Continental America's heavyweight champion, Michael Dynamite Dokes, on the comeback trail. 8-0 since the drug rehabilitation. Michael Dokes, who is 4 years the senior of Evander Holyfield, will be making his way. I see the cowboy hat of 91-year-old Marty Cohn, so that means, along with the belt, here comes Michael Dokes, his 9th stop on the comeback trail, and he returns to the scene of his greatest triumph, the WBA heavyweight title over Mike Weaver in 1982 in this very ring. Michael Dokes, who has an extremely close personal bond with the man we heard and saw before, Marty Cohn, the lovable manager. Between them, 96 years of boxing experience. There's Marty Cohn, 78 years in the fight game. Michael Dokes says he's on a mission after a life-threatening cocaine addiction, fighting for self-esteem and hoping to get through to kids everywhere so they don't make the same mistakes he did. Dokes has straightened out his life, looks for a big upset tonight. A record of 37-1-2 with 23 KOs, rated number 8 by the WBC. Back in the top 10 at the age of 30. Marty Cohn throwing flowers to the crowd. Boy, boxing just keeps him young. Earlier, we asked Michael Dokes if a lack of foot speed on his part will enter in as a factor against Evander Holyfield tonight. Here's what he had to say.
I don't think I'm going to have to look for Evander, and Evander is definitely not going to have to look for me, and it's not about a filling out process or anything like that, because we can do that after the fight. We can kiss and hug and all of that and congratulate one another, but in the first second of that fight, we're going to be right there in the danger zone.
The danger zone means the first part of the fight. Michael Dokes will be looking to put the pressure on immediately. Let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hull for the pre-fight introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Caesars Sports Pavilion, where tonight Main Events Monitor and Madison Square Garden Boxing, in association with Caesars Palace, presents Holyfield or Dokes, A Date with Destiny, featuring an evening of championship boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Elias Ghanem, Chairman. The commission members are Dwayne Ford, Dr. James Nave, Jay Nady, and Freddie Little. Representing the Continental Americas at ringside, Mr. Raymond Van Patten, and the executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission is Chuck Minker. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for tonight's main event, the judges are Dalby Shirley, Dave Moretti, and Paul Smith. The timekeeper is Mike Morabito. Counting in the knockdowns, Al Bicep. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo, Flip Pomansky, and Al Campana. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the Continental Americas Heavyweight Championship. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 208 pounds, with a professional record of 20 wins, no defeats, 16 KOs. He is a former, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, and is the challenger, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Evander Holyfield. In the red corner, now fighting out of Miami Beach, Florida, weighing in at 225 pounds. His professional record consists of 37 wins, 1 defeat, 2 draws, with 23 KOs. He is a former WBA heavyweight champion of the world and is the current Continental America's heavyweight champion. Here is Dynamite Michael Dokes.
Steele with the final instructions. We'll take a look at the tail of the tape. Dokes is 4 years older than Holyfield. Dokes with the half-inch height advantage. Dokes at 225, 20 pounds lighter than when he began his comeback a little over 2 years ago. Holyfield trimming down to 208. He was 210 his last fight. Dokes the half-inch reach advantage. And the Nevada rules, scoring on the 10-point mush system, 3 scoring judges. No standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the bell only in the final round. Evander Holyfield, 20-0 with 16 knockouts. His toughest test to date against Michael Dokes, the former WBA heavyweight champion. Dokes said he's going to come right out, look for the knockout. And Evander Holyfield says he's just going to apply pressure. The fact that this fight is for the WBC Continental Americas title is almost irrelevant. Of much greater significance, the boxing future of 2 men at stake. Dokes looking to avoid fading into obscurity. Holyfield out to show the boxing world that he is Mike Tyson's next opponent.
Well, they certainly have lived up to their billing. Very heavy shots to the body by Dokes, and Holyfield is responding 2 punches to 1.
Evander Holyfield in the blue trunks with the white trim. Michael Dokes in the white trunks.
Oh, 2 good shots, but they were low by Dynamite Dokes, and Steele says keep them up.
Dokes looking to go toe-to-toe from the outset.
Oh, Holyfield standing right in front of him, although Ludu was screaming, turn him, turn him.
Holyfield said he is not obsessed with KOing Dokes. He just wants to win.
Dokes keeps landing those very low punches. It's beginning to bother Holyfield, who keeps pulling his trunks up.
Ludu says the key word here for Evander Holyfield is respect, especially at the start. Holyfield has to go after Dokes early because Dokes intends to come out punching, and Dokes will figure, hey, in Dokes' favor. They're getting a punch out, and they are in a
punch out. Holyfield's superior reflexes are evident right now, though. One thing that was supposed to happen was the fast hands of Dokes should neutralize the superior reflexes of Holyfield. That has not happened right now.
Well, there's no denying the skills of these two fighters. Lou Dillman told me this fight will come from the gut.
Well, it's going to the gut because Dynamite is working hard. Dokes working hard on the body of Holyfield. Holyfield coming back with serious punches to the head.
Now Dokes spinning Holyfield around, but Richard Steele breaks him up. The odds on this fight began at 9-1 favoring Holyfield. This morning, it was 3.5-1. Big left by Holyfield.
Holyfield is honing in right on Dokes' open face, and he's landing solidly. Dokes, for his part, is trying to get down into the body to put some hurt on the much lighter Holyfield.
Less than 30 seconds in the opening round, scheduled for 12. And Dokes suffering from the apparent low blow.
And now it's Dokes who got a low blow. There's a timeout. There's going to be a timeout to recover. Now that's ironic because the entire first round had been low blows to Holyfield. But Holyfield, his punch was to an area where when the protector slides over, it hurts. It's hit right in what's called the groin area. He now has 18 seconds time to recover this timeout. When they come back, it's 18 seconds. He should be able to continue. He certainly will be able to continue for 18 seconds.
Dokes takes a big deep breath, has blood coming from the lower lip, and continues. The words respect coming from the corner of Evander Holyfield.
And he certainly has gotten that. Holyfield is just teeing off on Dokes' exposed face. Dokes trying to outspeed him, but can't. Oh, another low blow by Dokes.
And that is it for round one. Action-packed.
Get Beautiful out there. He's doing that shit in Texas. You see it, man. Okay, Johnny. Second round. Beautiful. Okay. Get up.
Cocksucker's trying to quit on you.
Get on the side. He's got to talk. Go ahead, George.
All right, now listen. Now the fight is on top now.
Come on, Mike.
Don't get hit with the right hand. You got no reason to get hit with that right hand. Get underneath it. Come up with your left hook to the body. All right?
Come on, Mike.
All right?
Come on, Mike.
All right, baby.
Don't let him back you up. You got to go forward on him.
We'll take a look at the low blow by Holyfield.
That certainly was south of the border. Now, they can call time, which they did. They have a normal amount of time. That could be a minute. That could be 2 minutes. That could be at the discretion of the referee. Certainly not longer than 2 minutes, at which time the fight either continues, he's disqualified, or he loses.
Round two, scheduled for 12.
Well, that first round lived up to everything both fighters told us they were going to do. Both tried to establish superiority. Both tried to get respect. And both landed low punches.
And they come out with a furious exchange to begin the second. A solid right that landed by Holyfield to the head of Dokes. Oh, and Dokes landed, might have been a low blow. A right by Holyfield and a left by Holyfield to the head. Now another right by Holyfield.
Holyfield landing clean blows to the head of Dokes. Dokes concentrating on the body and leaving his head wide open. That first round was a blazer, and this is a corker opening up from the second round. Look at the body shots that Dokes is putting in. At 20 pounds more, he wants to wear out Holyfield. He wants to get him down off his horse, and he wants to pound him as the rounds progress.
Evander Holyfield built like a football linebacker, trimming down to 208 for more quickness against the 225-pound Michael Dokes. Holyfield actually looked like he was upset, angry at the low blows earlier.
Dokes giving no motion whatsoever, standing right in front of Holyfield. Holyfield can take his shots, give angles, and not get hit in return.
Holyfield looking to establish his left jab, which is probably his best weapon.
Neither one of these men look like they expect to be here 12 rounds. Both of them are going for early knockouts minutes here as they continue to zing very hard punches.
Combination by Holyfield, but they didn't land. Holyfield trying to prove to the boxing world that he has knockout power. He didn't say publicly that he'd like to KO Michael Dokes, but you have to figure deep down inside he would like to prove a point.
Well, Dokes has got concrete in his chin, and he's got a huge heart. Nothing wrong with that. It's his legs south of the border that are in question, but he's been known to take some great shots by heavy punching heavyweights. Can Holyfield's shots be enough to stop Dokes? That's what we're going to find out.
Low blows again by Dokes. The voice of Blue Duva, get that respect. To the head goes Dokes, and those punches connected. Holyfield misses with a left.
Holyfield's left hook after right cross, a thing of beauty. He's been missing it, but it's getting closer and closer. Those are the knockout punches when they land. After a combination, that left hook is usually kiss off. That's the one that knocks you out.
And that is it for round two. This fight at a furious pace.
Started out fast. They tried to establish superiority. Neither one established a big superiority, although in rounds, I certainly have Evander Holyfield winning the first two rounds by a very, very narrow margin. But he's ahead 2018 quite unofficially on my scorecard.
Lay down and go to the body, okay? Don't no tool work all day long on him. Either hook or right hand, all right?
Come on, Mike, don't pull up.
And let's see if this is a low blow by Dokes. Indeed.
That has been happening all during the first two rounds. Discombobulating Mike things from Richard Steele.
Come on.
Round three scheduled for 12. The stakes are high tonight, but they're higher for Evander Holyfield. Both have a lot to gain, but Holyfield risking his status as Mike Tyson's ultimate opponent.
Now for once, all of a sudden, Dokes trying to out-jab Holyfield. Somebody's mouthpiece just fell out.
It's Dokes. It's Dokes' mouthpiece. Dokes pouring in, going to the body. Holyfield, his quickness, able to elude those punches. Holyfield smiles at Dokes, saying, "I'm okay. You didn't hurt me."
But those punches that land to the arms and body, you're going to be able to tell the effect of those in another few rounds. He's now landing flush to the face as Dokes. Back comes Holyfield with some good shots to the head.
Oh, a crisp right uppercut by Holyfield. Dokes without the mouthpiece.
Dokes has opened up differently this round, going to the head, building up an early lead as punch after punch rains on Holyfield without an answer.
If this fight goes beyond 4 or 5 rounds, stamina will begin to play a role.
Well, that's what Dokes is counting on with his early attack. Hard attack to the head of Holyfield, who's not fighting back. He's standing still, taking these shots from Dokes, and that can't be good, folks.
Holyfield looks a bit frustrated.
Not only frustrated, he looks tired and he looks a little hurt.
He's been tagged. He has been rocked by Michael Dokes. Here the third.
Dokes switching to the head has surprised Holyfield, who's taking big shots.
Combination by Dokes.
Big punishment by Dokes on Holyfield, who doesn't seem to come back with his own attack.
That left was a grazing punch by Dokes.
But it was a great thought, a left hook just as Holyfield came in. If he caught him, he would have been on the seat of his pants.
Dokes showing a lot of heart.
That's what you're seeing. All the heart in the world is coming out of Dokes as he wants to win around and begin to establish his mastery.
Michael Dokes fighting most of this round without the mouthpiece. There was a great cross by Holyfield that landed.
Now it's Holyfield on the attack, and now it's Dokes taking a breather.
Dokes tiring here towards the end of round 3.
He's put in a very heavy round of punching. He should post the rest of the round. I'm sure he will.
Apparently a winning round for Michael Dokes. Final seconds, round 3. The frantic action rages on.
This guy's dead. This guy's dead. Now listen. Now look. Go to the body. Go to the body. Now listen, don't be, what are you getting hit with them punches for? You got no business getting with them punches. Now go to that body, you understand? Right? Now look, take your time. Don't throw yourself away, you understand? But stay close and punch.
Amen.
Trust me. Let your hands go and leave me.
We'll take a look at the flurry from round 3.
Well, this was the attack that Evander finally launched, only after being pummeled for the first 2.5 minutes by Dokes, who came out, switched to the head, and was landing clean shots to the head of a bewildered Evander Holyfield. I don't think he has had this kind of a test in many, many fights, and he is getting a little frustrated.
Certainly not as a heavyweight. 91-year young Marty Pops Cohn has never taken a plug nickel from Michael Dokes. He didn't have to. He owned a coal mine, then sold it. He doesn't need Dokes' money. Dokes says he loves Marty Cohn more than anyone else in the world, with the exception of his mom. Dokes does not seem to be affected by the punches of Evander Holyfield as we enter round 4.
Well, that's been what we're here to prove. Has Holyfield got a heavyweight punch? He's certainly been landing shots that would have hurt a lesser opponent than Michael Dokes. Like those right there. 2 or 3 jabs and a beautiful right hand. But back comes Dokes with that patented body attack. A lot of punches south of the border.
Well, so far, this fight living up to reputation, it has been explosive.
Dokes just doesn't pardon Holyfield. Anytime he gets in close, he gets a body shot for his trouble. Holyfield opens this round as he closed the first and second, doing most of the leading, as Dokes has chosen right now to take another breather. Could be this toll is getting to Dokes as well.
Go back to the jab, says the Holyfield corner. And the jab gets in.
They traded jabs. Dokes missed his. Holyfield did not. That's what you call a lottery punch. Just take your shot at something big.
Now Holyfield goes to the body.
Holyfield boxing much better while he's on the attack and initiating the action. He's faster than Dokes, but when Dokes starts, then it's a different ball game. Holyfield appears confused and flustered.
It appears as if Holyfield has now gone to more finesse, more footwork. He's bouncing around a lot more now.
I think he wants to take a breather from all of this hot and heavy in the trenches action, and that's the way to do it. Bounce around. He's got young legs. He can do it. You notice that Dokes is nailed to the canvas. He does not bounce around. He just stands still.
I would say this crowd is split in terms of the popularity for these two fighters. Right down the middle.
I think both the favorites of the crowd, and certainly sentimental favoritism for Michael Dokes, who has come back from sheer hell to be a contender for the title.
2 great stories. The former Olympian of the blue trunks, Evander Holyfield, one of boxing's consummate gentlemen out of the ring, against a man who battled back from a severe cocaine addiction, Michael Dokes, who lost to Jerry Coetzee, his only defeat, admittedly under the influence of cocaine. And then he straightened his life out, went to drug rehab, and he is 8-0 since the comeback. We'll follow Evander Holyfield, the challenger for this Continental America's heavyweight title.
That man going and hit this guy in the body a lot. Now look, now don't let him out hustle you on the inside. Just keep your hands moving, right?
And his manager, Ken Sanders, who is also known as the Chief Executive Officer for Team Holyfield. And a big, deep breath from Mr. Sanders.
You get good defense. When you catch punches, come back to the body.
All kinds of celebrities in the crowd tonight here at Caesars Palace
you understand?
in Las Vegas. A pair of daredevils Holyfield's Evel Knievel and his son Robbie. On April 14th, a spectacular event will take place as Robbie will attempt to jump the fountains in front of Caesar's Palace on his motorcycle, a feat his father tried in '67 and rearranged practically every bone in his body. It'll be televised as a pay-per-view special live on April 14th. Round 5, it's scheduled for 12. It's been a good one.
Dokes reestablishing his mastery in that last round. I'm sorry, not Dokes. Evander Holyfield reestablishing his mastery by, again, a very slim margin as Dokes had to rest after that big round he had in the third.
This has got to be, without question, Holyfield's most difficult test since he fought Dwight Muhammad Qawi in the first of those two. And what many consider the fight of the year. Richard Steele, the third man of the ring.
Blissful respite after that severe action. Dokes is trying to lure him into a trap into Holyfield, thinking everything is quiet and then coming in with those heavy body shots. What a well-conditioned athlete is Holyfield. He's taking body shots that should make him crawl around the ring, and yet no effect on Holyfield.
Part of Holyfield's strategy to turn Dokes around. You might be able to hear in the background Lou Duva, George Benton yelling, turn him around, turn him around. So far, this round, he's had difficulty doing that.
Come on, keep it in front, keep it in front. Let's go.
No question, both men are tired. Neither man leading in this round. Good shots by Dokes. Catching Holyfield on the ropes.
And Dokes is 225 pounds, leaning on Holyfield.
That's a good strategic move by Dokes. He should be using that big weight to maul and confuse and frustrate. Oh, he's gotten hurt. He's got Holyfield hurt.
He's got Holyfield in some trouble here. He landed to the face.
Holyfield winced from that shot. Maybe he got a thumb in the eye, but his legs went wobbly. He's back now, but boy, for a split second there, it looked like it was bye-bye time for Holyfield.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Dokes continues to use the pressure and lean. Uppercuts to the head, snapping Holyfield's head back. Now Holyfield turns Dokes around, but Holyfield comes back with an uppercut.
It's Dokes' fight to push him, to push Holyfield into the ropes. Now look who's stronger. Holyfield just puts the 20-pound heavier Dokes back like if he was a sack of flour. He did it again just then. That's the strength of this young Holyfield. Strong and well-conditioned.
Holyfield landing with uppercuts to the stomach of Dokes.
Oh, good uppercut by Holyfield, but not enough to win that round, which Dokes took from him in a blistering attack along the ropes.
This was the first time when Dokes had Holyfield in trouble. Remember this when he winced.
That was big trouble, and he was wincing. He was trying to clear his head, and of course, with the stamina of youth and resiliency, he came back, but he was not the same fighter for the rest of that round. Dokes doesn't have the spring in his legs that he had as a young man, or else he would have been pushing Holyfield into the ropes and taking advantage. From the waist up, it's the old Dokes, and from the waist down, it's old man time.
Action from later in that fifth round.
Keep your back off the ropes.
Some crunching blows to the ribs by Dokes.
You got to be busy. They'll take it in the battle. You got to lean on him in time. Don't let this son of a bitch back you up.
Round 6 scheduled for 12. Dokes really being exhorted by his corner, Bill Slayton, Sterling McPherson. Dokes in the white, Holyfield in the blue. Holyfield doubling up on the jab, and then the right.
No question, this corner sent him out to win this round. They said, hey, you blew that last one.
If not the fight, Holyfield pressing the attack.
What singing punches from Holyfield right at the opening bell and landing on Dokes, but back comes Dokes. His corner doesn't want to
on repeated occasions he does not want this fight to fall into the hands of the judges because he feels he's the bad boy of Las Vegas. He feels the judges here don't like him.
1 point away from Dokes.
You okay?
A low blow takes a point away from Michael Dokes, and that could loom very significant.
Very, very big in a close fight. Unfortunate. That means Dokes better win this round, or else he'll have a 2-point deficit in this round. And so far, he was behind. It will also change his... Oh, great left hook right on the jaw of Evander Holyfield without effect. Oh,
and he comes back, does Holyfield, with a right cross to the head of Dokes.
And lands right on the jaw. Boy, what a jaw on Dokes. Both these guys are pummeling each other.
There's the left jab by Evander Holyfield. Oh, a right by Dokes that sent Holyfield reeling backwards.
Holyfield does not look happy right now.
He's trying to get some zing back. But Holyfield continues to land with those short, crisp punches inside. A wild miss by Dokes. He was going for the KO punch there.
But he did the shoe shine. 4 or 5 quick punches underneath and then up over. But those punches landed on the exposed stomach, belly of Holyfield, so those are points.
No double in the corner of Evander Holyfield. Holyfield sends Dokes back.
But only after taking a 3-punch combination, that was a thing of beauty. Both guys scoring heavily in that exchange.
Furious exchanges since round 1.
When they get in close, Dokes is throwing a mean left hook. Most of the time it misses, but boy, what effect it has when it lands.
Good defensive job there by Dokes to stop those punches by Holyfield. Final seconds of round 6. And after the bell, they continue to go at it.
Come here. I don't want that no more, okay?
I detected an apology by both Dokes and Holyfield there as Dokes went to sit down on his stool. They gave each other a little tap there.
Work on that gut. What round is it?
But things really turning ugly at the end of round 6. Dokes cut over the left eye. His cut man is Tommy Gallagher. So he goes to work.
It was an even round, but they took a point away, so that makes it.
Let's see the end of round 6. We'll see if we can. There was the bell, and there are the extra punches.
I don't think these two guys are any Durans. They're both gentlemanly fighters. That was just a mistake of not hearing the bell. That was a curious round, and they took 1 point away, and somehow Dokes managed to have an even round so that he only lost 1 point. I still have it 58-56. Evander Holyfield ahead by 2 points, quite unofficially.
Round 7 scheduled for 12. Blood on the trunks, the white trunks of Michael Dokes, very evident. It's from above his left eye. Oh, and there goes the mouthpiece of Dokes again. Holyfield trying to take advantage. But Dokes is the man punching.
Dokes was severely hurt. He's fighting back on guts now. He was severely hurt. If Holyfield can mount this attack, he may end this now.
Dokes will not let Holyfield mount a barrage.
That was just pure heart on the part of Dokes. He was severely hurt. He's still hurt.
Combination by Holyfield to the face of Dokes. Now Dokes comes back with a combination. And now there's some blood around the left eye of Holyfield. I don't know if that's Dokes blood though.
No, it's been puffing up. It's been puffing up, and it may start to crack up a little bit. It is not significant at this time. But Dokes is still there, tired as he is, and whipped as he is this round. He is still there, and he's got enough guts to hide his feelings from Holyfield. There he is, coming back with more. There's nothing on those punches, but he is punching, making Holyfield stop.
Dokes is not favored, even though he's the champion. But he and his manager, Marty Cohn, are used to the long odds.
Cut on the left eyebrow of Michael
concern.
Concern is a small word etched on the face of Ken Sanders.
Should we go for worried? As you see, the blood as Holyfield came right in after the tape was fixed on Dokes' glove. Holyfield landing with a short right. There's another right by Holyfield. A left by Holyfield, tagging Dokes, who stays up and continues to throw punches.
Dokes is taking punches. It's incredible. No human being should stand up from that. Those are wound up from left field from the parking lot. What a round for Holyfield.
Incredible round.
Always look to the corner.
And the big crowd here at Caesars Palace Sports Pavilion saluting these two fighters. And they go right to that cut.
Let me rinse them out, please.
He comes in strong.
Evander Holyfield with an assortment of flurries in that 7th round. And let's take a look at one of them.
The thing about these punches is that Holyfield is putting his whole body, turning his whole body into the punch, just like they teach you to do, and it's landing. Look at that shot to the body of Dokes. And Dokes, remember, fights back. He's not just saying, look at that shot. That's enough to drop anybody. And a hook comes back and another right hand. That's enough to drop people, folks. Those are heavyweight punches from big guys winding up.
We head into round 8, scheduled for 12. Steve Albert of the Fight Doctor, Ferdy Pacheco in Las Vegas. This has been a monstrous battle. Holyfield in the blue, Dokes in the white.
So Dokes is now battling back from a point. Oh, look at Dokes go.
Michael Dokes landing to the head of Holyfield.
Opening up the round to get a little respect from Holyfield and break up his attack. Not wanting to stand there from those and receive more cannon shots. He opened up in flurries. That puts Evander in a different mood.
And Dokes was hitting in retreat.
Let's go. Protect yourself.
Michael Dokes predicted this would be a war, and it's coming to fruition.
Well, he's fighting under disadvantages now. First, he has 1 point off. Second, he has got low blows, which will accumulate to the point where another point can be taken off with no trouble. Then he's getting pummeled by Holyfield. And last but not least, he's got a cut over the eye. A lot of stuff to worry about while you're trying to take care of this young kid.
Yet somehow surviving it all.
Beautiful, beautiful uppercuts by Holyfield with no effect. Again, with that big round by Evander Holyfield, I have him ahead 68-65. Again, unofficially, this has been a ding-dong battle. Remember, one of those rounds could easily be a 10-8 round because they took a point away from Dokes.
Now Michael Dokes on the attack. Dokes with a left, but Holyfield may have blocked it. Dokes senses something now, perhaps.
Yeah, Holyfield's not in the best shape of his life just now.
Holyfield may be in some trouble.
Every time he gets him on the ropes, that superior weight, that pulling and pushing, takes right hand.
A twisting right by Dokes, a combination by Dokes. Holyfield comes back with a left.
Holyfield coming back with everything he's got. A lot of guts to Holyfield because he's been hammered. He's throwing everything in those punches. And they are landing. What a round. It doesn't seem possible that two heavyweights could pound each other this way without effect. It's Dokes that's beginning to wear out, but he's had a big lead in this round.
And a right by Holyfield, followed by a right by Dokes, and then Dokes' head is snapped back off the combination. Holyfield throwing everything in his arsenal. Final seconds of round 8.
What a round this has been. It's all been Dokes at the beginning and then all Holyfield at the end. Both men getting each other in trouble. What a round. punishment these two men are inflicting. These are Dokes' big moments. The first 2 minutes belong to Dokes. And then, if there was anybody in the audience that doubted Holyfield's heart and courage, he came back and took that last minute. I gave that round to Dokes very close again. Remember, these rounds are just seesawing so close. Both men are landing effective punches. Both men are hurting each other, and yet Holyfield still stands there. Nobody has ever questioned Michael Dokes' heart, but until this fight, we didn't know what kind of guts Holyfield had. Well, we're learning.
Look at the expression on the face of Holyfield as he came out. As we begin round 9, it is scheduled for 12. Can they pick up where they left off? It would seem unlikely. How do you keep that pace going?
You don't. The answer is who's going to wear out first, and when you got a young, strong man against an old, strong man, young always wins that equation.
And the inside fighting.
Well, I'll tell you one thing right now. Both these men would give Tyson a good battle. I mean, both of them, if they come in this kind of condition with this kind of heart, it would be a very interesting bout with Mike Tyson.
Boxing experts, as you see Marty Cohn, the manager of Michael Dokes, in the lower left-hand corner. Experts figure Tyson and Holyfield will be slow in developing, or even Dokes and Tyson. Tyson will probably milk his status at the top, follow Don King's itinerary, get some big paydays fighting journeymen, but eventually he will have to meet up with one of these two.
He can meet up with both of them. At the way this fight is going, you know, when you have a fight like this, there really are no losers, because they both have proved that they are in championship contention, and barring a knockout, at the rate they're going, either one or both could be lined up for Tyson.
Past the midway point, round 9.
In the meantime, we have had a peaceful round, if you can call it. If you can call this mayhem peaceful, this has been a peaceful round compared to the others, because they had to rest. They have to rest.
Perhaps the fighters are just looking for a second win to keep it going. Now Holyfield spins Dokes around.
You notice there has been precious few clinches. Oh, big breath from Dokes, like saying, whoa, how much longer to the end of this round? The cut taken good care of in the corner of Dokes is not a factor. Although it's bleeding, it is not a factor.
Good job by Tommy Gallagher.
Both men are just whiling away this round.
Which might mean we ain't seen nothing yet from 10 through 12. Under 30 seconds in the ninth. All right by Holyfield, but didn't seem to bother Dokes that much.
Dokes had just landed a couple of good shots himself, so it sort of neutralized each other.
Speaking, they cruised through that round.
I think they had to rest. That's called a convalescent round, because both guys were so exhausted from the feverish pace of the 8th round that they had to take it easy, particularly Dokes, who seems to be wearing out on a faster clip than the younger and better conditioned Evander Holyfield. But I'm impressed again. I have to say it again. I cannot begin to tell you that there was so much doubt about the heart of Holyfield. He's had all these easy fights. Yeah, what happens when he gets in with a tough guy and he goes to round 6, 7, and 8? Well, as far as I can see, what's happening is we've proved once and for all that Evander Holyfield has got a truckload of guts. I mean, he hangs in there, he doesn't quit, and he's getting hammered. On to round 10, and these next 3 should be crucial.
And here we go. Some thunderous shots in this fight, landed by both fighters. Holyfield in the blue, Dokes in the white. There's another right by Holyfield that landed, and Dokes comes right back.
Holyfield is no doubt about it. Got his gas back in the tank and ready to go. He's put it in gear because he came out solid punching. Dokes is still in slow motion. He is not eager to press forward against a bouncing Holyfield.
Again, This somewhat reminiscent of the Holyfield White Muhammad Kawi fight when Holyfield stopped the former light heavyweight cruiserweight champ in the 4th round.
The weary legs of Michael Dokes can't get him there. They just can't get him into punching range.
And fight fans all over the world enjoying this action, not only here in the United States, but this broadcast going to 16 different foreign lands like England, France, Spain, Japan, Venezuela, Australia, Austria, South Africa, Holland, Thailand, Panama, and on and on.
Dokes just wants to invite Holyfield to come into his parlor and stand still to punch there because he just doesn't have the legs to get away from him or to get to him. It's got to be Holyfield's call to come in. Oh, what a shot! Dokes in trouble. Dokes in big trouble.
Michael Dokes staggered.
But fighting back. He's terrible shape.
And there he goes into the ropes. Holyfield looks to finish him off. Richard Steele steps in. And Dokes coming towards us. He's down.
He's out.
He's out. It's over. It's all over, says Richard Steele. Evander Holyfield has won it here in the 10th round.
And that was inevitable, but what a fight Michael Dokes put up. It just seemed like he couldn't keep taking those heavy punishing blows. Now with his legs gone, he had no way to absorb the punishment except fully on his face. And of course, he went down along the ropes. Had he not fallen, he would have definitely been counted out. And the referee would definitely, had he not gotten him out, would have stopped the fight. Dokes was not in any condition to go on. So Holyfield answers quite a few questions. Has he got guts? You bet. Can he punch? You bet. And has he got the courage to stay in there with a guy who's got the willpower of Michael Dokes? You bet, you bet, you bet.
Two courageous fighters being saluted here by this capacity crowd at Caesars Palace. Michael Dokes KO'd here in the 10th by Evander Holyfield, who is now 3-0 as a heavyweight and proving that he does have knockout power. Here's the setup punch. It's coming up.
And that's the one that did the damage. It's sort of a left uppercut, a cross between an uppercut and a hook, and it was all over for Dokes. It was just window dressing after that. But even so, Dokes fought back. I mean, where in that massive chest cavity can you find a heart as big as Dokes? Even so, he was fighting back. No legs to keep him up. Nothing to absorb the punch, and he was finished. You see him? He's gone. And, of course, needless to say, the referee over in a minute so was his corner. No problem stopping the fight. Watch this shot. That is just absolutely a beautiful hook. The effect had been building up all night long as Holyfield rained punch after punch on the durable Dokes, who took a long time in leaving.
A dramatic conclusion to an incredible fight.
And I have to come back with the thought, Steve, that off of this fight, Dokes has lost nothing. He has gained stature as an opponent. If he goes back and wins a couple of good fights, he is in position to fight Tyson. I know that sounds ridiculous when a guy gets knocked out, but it's not, given the dearth of heavyweights.
Chuck Hull in the center of the ring has the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 41 seconds of the 10th round. The winner by a TKO and new Continental America's heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield being hung by trainer Lou Duva gets his first heavyweight title. The crowd cheers him as he lifts his record to 21-0 with 17 knockouts. What a display by Holyfield. Of course, the same for Michael Dokes. Holyfield was favored, but he was the challenger. And he is the new WBC Continental America's heavyweight champion. And he is going to feel it in the morning. He took some lumps. He earned this victory without question. Michael Dokes, only his second professional defeat. 30 7-2 and 2 now. And his first loss in 9 fights since the comeback from cocaine rehabilitation. Let's go up to Ferdy Pacheco in the ring.
I don't think you could expect any bigger fight than that from anybody. Went hard on Dokes and went hard on you. Was that one of the toughest fights you've ever had?
First of all, I'd like to thank God for my help and strength, the will to win, and thank him for everything.
Was it the toughest fight you've had?
Yes, it was. Dokes proved a lie. I figure if I go out there and make him spend a lot of punches in the other round that he wouldn't be strong. But he was strong throughout the whole fight. His hand was very quick.
Were you hurt by all those low blows in the early part of the round?
Yes, he was taking a lot of steam out of me. He hit me low. He hit me on the hip, and he was just constant breaking my rhythm. It was hard for me to get my rhythm because
when he fought along the ropes and he pushed you along the ropes, he seemed to get the better of you. There were rounds there when his strength was so evident. He was so much bigger than you were.
I wouldn't exactly say that. When he had me going back, I knew I was back. I was slipping a lot of punches, and what I was trying to do was make him extend a lot of punches, make him throw more punches than he wanted to, and time he relaxed to catch a breath. I was trying to counter punch and catch him with the good uppercuts.
All right, the next question I think is more in the area of Mr. Saunders here, the manager who we're talking about, Tyson, all during his telecast. I said there's 2 guys for Tyson now because Dokes has proved he can get in there as well. What have you got to say about this guy?
Evander Holyfield is the best heavyweight in the world, bar none. Bar none. The only reason he's not champion is because Mike Tyson hadn't fought him. Mike Tyson's a great champion. He's a great fighter. Michael Dokes is the 3rd best heavyweight in the world. And what we want to do tonight, Ferdy, is we want to make an issue and a challenge to Mike Tyson. Of course, everybody's trying to fight Mike Tyson. We want to fight Mike Tyson as soon as possible. Winner take all. $25 million, whatever it is, or more. Winner
25 minutes. Winner take all.
Winner take all.
Is that the used car business talking to me? That sounds like I'm going to get a free car.
That's Evander Holyfield.
That's Evander Holyfield is the best fighter in the world. He just proved that tonight. All we're saying is everybody wants to fight Mike Tyson for a big payday. What we're saying is if we can't beat him, we don't want nothing.
All right.
To fight us.
I think we've said what we proved tonight is Evander Holyfield belongs as a heavyweight. He has a heavyweight punch. He has a heavyweight heart. And he demands and should be with Michael Tyson. So on that note, we go back to Steve at ringside.